Alright YouTube, Matt M. Roy back again. This is going to be a more in-depth review of the Olympus Pen Mini that I picked up the other day at the garage sale. I promised I'd do this video, and like I said, I always try to keep my promises, so without further ado, let's get started. First thing, it did come in this nice case. This is a Tamrac camcorder case. It's really, I think, originally made for a camcorder, but because this is a larger digital camera, it works well for that too. First thing here, I have the Olympus charger. This is model BCS1, and it does charge the lithium-ion battery, which is fairly large for a camera, but again, seeing as this is a more high-end camera, you definitely need that extra power. Next in here, I have the telephoto lens. This is the one that I'm probably not going to use very often because the types of pictures that I take, generally the standard lens will suffice. But for you guys that are interested, this is a Olympus Digital. It's a 40 to 150 millimeter lens. I was wrong before. I said it was 142. It's actually 150 millimeters. And you guys can read the rest of that. There you go. You can manually zoom it from 40. And it won't let me do it here, I don't think, without it being attached, but you would actually just turn this piece and we go from 40 all the way up to 150. I do have both covers for it, the lens cover and the cover for the rear part that attaches to the camera. And we'll go starting here. Next we have the charging cable for the charger itself. This is actually the power cable that goes to the outlet, so nothing too spectacularly interesting there. In here, I have a little bag, and this actually houses some of the filters. And for those who subscribe to me that are photo buffs, will probably know exactly what these are. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really had a chance to play around with them. This one actually looks like it has a triangular effect. If you look really closely, you can see little triangles in the glass. Got one there. And then this is a cap. I'm not exactly sure what this is for. This may be for the other lens that comes with it. This one says it's for the macro. Doesn't really fit on anything, so it may have been for a lens that I didn't actually get with this. Just another cap in there. Next we have the AV cable. This goes from the camera to the to your TV if you want to. I did not get the USB cable for this, but that's fine because whenever I want to get stuff off it, I just pop out the SD card and put in my Dell XPS 8700's memory card reader. I think lastly in here is the Olympus setup disc. This is the original one. You can see it's the HD edition. And this one is like version 120 or V120 I150, and it's from 2011, so it's nice to have that. I don't know if I'll ever use it because with Windows 7, 8, and 10 the drivers already come pre-installed, even if I was to hook up the camera directly to it. And then on the side pocket I have a couple of more, I think I have one or two more filters. Let me see what I got in here. Yep, I got one other filter, and this one looks like, if you look closely, it looks like it just has a tinting effect. Again, I haven't really had a chance to try these yet. I probably will the next time I have something to take a picture with, or basically. But as you can see, if you look closely, it kind of puts a tint on everything. And last but not least, we have the Olympus itself. And I've really been enjoying this. So on the front here, we have the standard lens. This is the, let's see, this is Olympus M Zuko Digital 14 to 42 millimeter lens. This one does perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, this zooms in more than enough for anything I would need. If I was looking out there, I could probably capture that flag on my neighbor's porch. Let me see. This is right at about 42 times on my Sony camcorder, and that's about how the camera would see that. So this is more than enough for most anything I would need. On top here is a removable flash. That's right, this is a chute here. And to unlock it, you just push this button right here. It says unlock. And you pull it back, which I can't really do one-handed. But you gotta trust me, that's a shoe. I'm not sure what other accessories you can put on there, because underneath there looks like there's a proprietary connector that this uses for power. So I'm assuming you have to use Olympus accessories with this. Right back here you have a very nice big LCD. I had to guess that's probably at least 4 inches. Down there you have your play button, your menu button, your various function buttons, and a function wheel. And then up here you have your info button. Right here is the button used to take videos, and again it does record in 1080p. This up here is your on-off button, and up here is your shutter button. Now this one does have the setting where you push it halfway down, it'll automatically get the right settings for the picture you want to take. Then you push it all the way down to actually take the picture. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Now the first thing you'll notice, let me see if I can get a better angle here for you guys. Yeah, there we go. Now first thing you'll notice is it's kind of out of focus. So to get this camera in focus, I'm actually looking at the emblem on the bag here. I'm going to go ahead and just push it halfway down. And sometimes it gets it. It might be a little too close there. Yeah, it's a little too close to get the right focus, but there we go. And then you just can take the picture afterwards. Yeah, I have to try to focus on something a little further away. So let's go ahead and focus on the heart of that chair right there. And pushing it. See, it's got focus, and then you can take the picture. So this has quite a few interesting features. If I go into the menu selection here, this is where you can choose art mode, which gives you a whole bunch of different scenes you can use. You can add each one of these scenes to your photo. Again, haven't really had a chance to work with it too much yet, but it really, really seems like a nice feature. Like you can do a sepia tone to make your picture look like an old-time photo from the 30s or 40s. You can do black and white photos. You can have like a sunburst effect if you want. And let's see, go back to the main menu here. We have auto. You set this if you want the camera to make all of the choices for you. You have your scene modes, which basically give you preset types of scenes that you can use. Like you see the top one there is if you're taking a close-up of someone's face. Next one is, looks like a nose mode, I guess you could call it, or extreme close-up. Then you have a landscape mode, mountain mode, action mode, nighttime, nighttime with incandescent or fluorescent lighting. Let's see what we got here. We have fast motion mode, high key, low key, the image stabilization mode, which is if you're moving around a lot, this will make sure your photo's not blurry. Macro mode for flowers, and I'm going to show you guys a few pictures I took with this camera. It does fantastic work close up, especially with flower photography. This one is nature macro for filming, butterflies, as it shows here, other kinds of insects. I'm sure it would work just as well. Candlelight mode, and a whole bunch of various other modes. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there are a lot of scene modes with this camera. Alright, let's see. Going back to the menu. Movie mode. Again, this does take 1080p full HD movies. And I will put a sample of what that looks like at the end of this video. Your aperture mode, you can actually set this like you would a digital SLR. Your f-stop, your white balance, all that can be manually adjusted. And of course, with your zoom, all you do is turn this and you can go all the way from 14 up to 42 millimeters, and of course the other one goes up to 150, which I may use on occasion. Don't really have a use for that now, but it's nice to be able to have that ability to zoom in that far. Next we go into the setup here, and this is just your basic setup. You have your card setup that has like your formatting of your card, you know, checking to make sure the card is good. Picture mode, the image aspect ratio, whether you want it to be 16:9 like this is, or 4:3 if you're using an older monitor. The second one is you can do, let's see, image stabilization, which I highly recommend in video mode you turn off, because I've noticed when filming in video mode with image stabilization on, you get a really nasty lasting effect, and it looks even worse when you play it through YouTube. Bracketing, I think that actually puts brackets on the edge of your video or your pictures, just a nice little effect. Multiple exposures, so basically for different types of light, like if you're going from bright light to low light to incandescent to fluorescent light, that's when you'd want to have that on. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what that one is. And it has something called digital teleconverter, and I'm sure you guys will probably correct me on some of this, but again, remember, I'm not a photo buff. I haven't been for many years. The last time I had a camera this advanced was a 35mm SLR back when I was in high school. And of course you could do some basic editing with your photos here. You know, just nothing fancy. You could put a fade in if you want. You can adjust the brightness and things like that, but most of that you're going to want to do on your main PC anyway. And then here you can set the date, the language, the record mode, and of course update the firmware if necessary. Alright guys, so this was my little review of the, I'll show you to the right there, it's the Olympus Pen Mini E-PM1. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and attach some footage at the end of this, just so you guys can see the recording capability. I'm going to do some video and also put a picture or two in there. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody. Alright, here's another test video of the Olympus Pen Mini E-PM1. I am outside right now, taking a look at Mom's flowers. I was not really impressed with the video quality indoors. Did not do well with low lights, so I wanted to go ahead and give it a try out here. Mom and I are ready to head out to the store.
Can I lock it?
Yeah, go ahead. You can see that Mom's flower boxes are in full bloom right now. Absolutely beautiful. I got a few pictures of the knockout roses. I'll go ahead and upload those at the end of this video so you guys can see the kind of pictures this thing takes. This is a 12.3 megapixel camera from right around 2012, 2011, and it does 1080p full HD video. And you guys can probably hear my neighbor's dog barking. Here's a close-up of Mom's white roses. Got one there. Got one hiding back there. And one right here, and they're absolutely beautiful this year. So we're gonna go ahead and head to Food Lion. As you can see, this tree is really not doing very well. I really don't think it's gonna make it. It's lost a lot of leaves. If you look on the ground here, my dad just mowed yesterday or 2 days ago, and you can see that there's leaves all over the place, and if you look really closely, they are very brittle. So I don't know, there's still a small chance it might live, but don't have a lot of high hopes for it right now. So this was just a quick test video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, have a blessed day, everybody.